Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Dr. Bush playoff race. Audio issues heading into turn number 1. The 11 car of Pot Pie and Dip leads Dr. Bush, the 17 of Knockout. Here is Shotgun and Finn. Trama in the chat says, "Hey Rick, Mama Falls, glad to have you here. She was here last night when we did Turn Down for What for My Racing Super Speedway. Fantastic finish there. Hopefully we get the same sort of finish this time around." Tweeter sits in fourth behind the 17 now. The 21 of Old Tweeter now getting closer to that 17. You can see the pack behind him, the 88 of ENEA Shotgun sitting in the 5th position. Sir Brunson in the number 20 Craftsman Toyota. He's coming up in 6th, chasing down the 88. Back towards the front, you can see Dr. Bush getting a little closer to the 11 of Pot Pie and Dip. Dr. Bush rocking those old classic Ricky Hendrick colors. Let's bring up the points standings. You can see PTH the GOAT is leading the point standings. This is the cutoff race for the round of 12. Drivers below that red line will not make it into the next 3 races on points, which is the round of 8. Drama in the back of this field, and it's Mr. Slidejob who's gone around in the Childress Vineyards Chevrolet. Not a fantastic start for Slidejob. Stone dead last as he crosses the line in the number 8 RCR Camaro. Destructive start to stage number 1. 18 laps remain in this first stage. At the front, Pot Pie and Dip leading the 24 of Dr. Bush, Camry, Camaro, Mustang. ENEA Knockout in this Mustang sitting in the points here. You can see he comes into this race out of the playoffs. 13th in the running order, running 3rd now. So looking for a bit of redemption in that Roush Ford. Behind the 17 of Knockout and the 21 is Old Tweeter, the reigning champion Old Tweeter, sitting 5th in the points right now, looking like he will make it through to the round of 8. But so far, nobody's safe. Everyone on the bubble. Shotgun now being overtaken by the 20 of Sir Brunson, and here comes the 18 Pedigree Camry of KFB with a good run into the first corner. All over the back end of the 88. There goes Shotgun. What happened with the 88 car there? The 18 easily gets around him. KFB rocking the M&M Minis Toyota Camry now gets into the 5th position. One behind the 18 car. Here comes the 4 of PTH, the GOAT, to bring up the points one more time. GOAT leading by 6 markers over Lucky Dog 385, currently running last, and the driver that sits up ahead, KFB, sitting third in the point standings. Here's Henny in the 12. The Dex Imaging Mustang coming into this race on the bubble, 5 points ahead of ENEA Hound Dog, the car that's behind him. There's the 3 of ENEA Hound Dog. Right now, he finds himself 5 points out of the playoffs. Still so much race to go. Will the Dow Chevrolet see themselves in the round of 8 next week? There goes Henny for a move on the 42. This is the real MT trying to hold off Henny in the 12. The 12 gets to the inside of the 42. That's for position there. Then back to the 6 Wienermobile of Annihilator coming across this line. Annihilator comes into this race not eligible for the playoffs, just trying to get laps, get experience for the upcoming season. Currently running in the 15th position. The 8 car of Mr. Slidejob gets around the Wienermobile of Annihilator, who takes it incredibly slow. What happened there for the Oscar Mayer Ford? Sounds like he's back up to speed. There's the 38 of J-Man in the Fire Alarm Systems Mustang. J-Man not in the playoff running, not racing for the championship. Again, just for Season 4 experience as J-Man goes off in the penultimate corner. Disaster for the 38 car. Here comes Lindo in the 9. Lindo not in the playoffs right now, only 11 points out. Lindo trying to gain spots on J-Man, and you can see green flag pit stops well underway. New leader in the race, Dr. Bush. The 11 of Pot Pie and Dip has come down, as well as the 20 of Sir Brunson. The 88 of ENEA Shotgun has also decided to come down for tires and fuel. Knockout currently finding himself in the 2nd position. That's going to put Old Tweeter into 3rd. Chevy, Ford, your top 3 at Indy. 6 laps underway, 15 to go in stage 1. The 88 of ENEA Shotgun makes his way through those S's. Here comes the 20 of Sir Brunson, now with fresh tires and fuel. The 18 of KFB has decided to bring his M&M's Camry down. PTH, the GOAT, brings his number 4 car down, and up ahead you can indeed see the leader, the 24 of Dr. Bush, who's come down for tires and fuel. Lindo brings the Napa Know-How Chevrolet in. Here comes the real MT, who will also bring the Clover Camaro down pit road. There's J-Man, who's in ahead of Lindo. Slide Job goes around again. Now at a dead stop, being overtaken by the 11 car. A brief course penalty for Mr. Slide Job 1996, who will bring his Childress Vineyards Chevy down pit road. At the front of this race, Dr. Bush still leads. Here comes the 11, but what a gap Dr. Bush now has on the rest of the field, with 14 laps to go in this race. Dr. Bush leading by an extraordinary margin over Pot Pie and Dip in the 11 FedEx Camry, and right behind him, the 17 of ENEA Knockout. This here is the battle for second. The 17 getting ever closer to that 11 car. But so far, no cigar. Now coming out of the infield section, headed into the oval 2. Right up along that wall, just a bit too close, you can see Knockout brushes it with the left-hand side. Now not taking full advantage of the racetrack, trying to look for some opening to the inside of the 11. Let's ride around for a lap with ENEA Knockout. He's going to try and get closer to the 11 car here. We'll see if he makes any ground down the front. One long, exciting lap at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. ENEA Knockout not able to get any closer to the 11 of Pot Pie and Dip. Expect another pit stop coming down this in the next 5 laps, I would assume. Old Tweeter now behind the 20 car. You're looking at 4th and 5th respectively. The reigning champion sitting in the 5th position behind the number 20 Craftsman Camry. Here comes Shotgun in the 88 Planters Chevrolet. There is the 4th placed car, Sir Brunson. 2 Toyotas sitting in the top 5. 1 Chevrolet leading with the Fords running 3rd and 5th. Coming into this race, Sir Brunson. Not the best luck last week at Darlington, where Lucky Dog 385 got the W. Brunson coming into this race on the points bubble as well. 38 behind from the leader, but Sir Brunson finds himself below that red line. He is just 9 points out of the playoffs. He's battling against Henny, Hound Dog, the Real MT, Lindo. But if he's going to get in, one driver has to fall out of those playoffs. Will it be the 12 of Henny? There he is running mired back in this pack. No traffic to speak of, and that looks like Mr. Slide Job up ahead, or is that Lindo in the 9? Either way, as the points currently run, Henny will not make it into these playoffs, but still, it's only stage 1. Plenty of race remains. ENEA Lindo using the wall to help him slow down into the first corner. Hopefully that doesn't do any extensive damage to the left-hand side of the Napa Chevy. The Real MT trying to follow behind. That believe that's the 20 of Sir Brunson. I could be wrong though. Nope, that is the 3 of ENEA Hound Dog. They do look slightly similar, those red and black cars. Hound Dog, again, on the outside, looking in as far as the round of 8 is concerned. He's got a couple more stages to figure out what he needs to be up in fighting contention. Same goes for Annihilator in the number 6 Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. Not in the points as far as playoffs are concerned. Annihilator just trying to get a little bit closer up as far as experience is concerned. The Oscar Mayer Mustang that he's been piloting these last few weeks has been doing slightly better as the year slowly comes to a close. And as I say that, the 6 car goes off and the curse of the commentator strikes again. J-Man riding along ahead of the 18 car of KFB. This road course posing a challenge for many of these drivers. Not a big popular racetrack as J-Man almost takes the FAS Ford off track, but keeps it in one piece. Leading this race right now, the 24 of Dr. Bush coming through NASCAR Turn 2, hitting the pit entrance one more time. There's second place. Pot Pie and Dip as third place. ENEA Knockout goes extremely wide out of turn 11, and you can see by the tire marks there, he's not the first, and he certainly won't be the last driver to make those marks. The 11 of Pot Pie and Dip is in. That's going to put the 17 of Knockout in second place. Sir Brunson will move in, Old Tweeter will move into the third position in his red cap Ford at the front. The 24 of Dr. Bush still leads by an even wider margin now. So another round of green flag pit stops rears its head. The 24 taking advantage of all he can of the racetrack. And now the question has to be asked, when will the leader come down pit road himself for tires and for fuel? If you've just recently joined us, I'm Rick James, bringing you uninterrupted green flag coverage of this final race in the round of 12 for ENEA. Brought to you by DI9 Designs. The leader does come in. Dr. Bush brings his number 24 Chevrolet down pit road. The 11 of Pot Pie and Dip with fresh tires and fuel. Here is Knockout, who does come down pit road. Does Tweeter take advantage? And he does. Tweeter will come in for tires and fuel. KFB 18 next on this list. And it looks like we already have a DNF. PTH the GOAT in the number 4 will not finish. Now GOAT waiting on the mercy of his opponents. You see the points there. You can see he's only 29 points ahead of the rest of the field. Henny getting around the 8 car of Mr. Slyjob, who has another course penalty for cutting the chicane. That's another position for Henny. He moves up in the field. Lindo coming down for tires and fuel in the number 9 Napa Know-How Chevrolet, as does the 42 of the Real MT. ENEA Hound Dog next on that list as drivers try to figure out when their fuel range will expire. Annihilator, does he just get a course penalty for cutting the inside? And he does. The number 6 Oscar Mayer Ford having to come to a complete stop. Worm Riders in the chat. What's going on, Worm? Glad to have you here, buddy. You saw the 88 of Shotgun nearly take out the 6 car there. J-Man now leaving pit road just ahead of the 9 of Lindo. And here comes Slyjob, who's had a rotten bit of bad luck here, coming to 7 laps to go in stage number 1. Course penalty after course penalty for the number 8 Childress Vineyards Chevy. But he now finds himself at the tail end of, he finds himself in 11th right now, making up places despite the repeated penalties. Look out for him to continue his climb up the running order. Back to the front now inside the final 7 laps of stage number 1. Dr. Bush leads in the number 24 HendrickCars.com Chevy. In second, you see Pot Pie and Dip in the FedEx Camry, and right behind him, there's the 17 of ENEA Knockout sitting in third. Knockout bringing the Roush Mustang through the infield section. Now Old Tweeter following him and doing the same. Tweeter does not have to win this race to get into the next round, but he wants to defend his Season 2 title. Shotgun bringing the Planters forward as close as he can to the corner there. He avoids the course-cutting penalty. Sir Brunson up ahead in the Craftsman Camry, leading that 88 out of the infield section back onto the oval. KFB 18 coming down pit road for tires and fuel on the M&M's Camry. PTH the GOAT, again, DNF, only 29 points above the playoff cutoff. The 4-car now has to wait on the rest of his opponents to pass him through the running order. PTH not safe as of yet. Henny in the 12-car now leaves the oval for one more trip through the infield, and it's another course-cutting penalty for the 8 of Mr. Slyjob, now coming to the final 5 laps of action in stage number 1, and it goes from bad to worse for the Childress Vineyard Chevy. There's your race leader. There's second place, Pot Pie and Dip. Coming to the line, Dr. Bush will have 4 laps to go in this opening stage. Chasing down the 6 of Annihilator, looking to put him a lap down, and he successfully does. The HendrickCars.com Chevrolet into turn number 1, making it look all too easy in this opening stage, but that's how it looked last week at Darlington. One driver winning the first 2 stages, and then Mr. Slyjob using that fuel-saving strategy to bring it home with that win. The 6 of Annihilator takes it way too wide out of turn number 8. Now the 24 being held up by the 3 of Hound Dog. 24 making his run to the outside. The 3-car just up ahead. Dr. Bush looking to put Hound Dog a lap down. And the 24 getting a bit of a spike there, a bit of a lag spike as the 6 goes off track briefly. 24 now to the inside of a Hound Dog, gets around him and puts him 1 lap down, coming to the final 4 laps of action. Pot Pie and Dip now bringing down his FedEx Camry for tires and for fuel. Mr. Slyjob, 1996, with some scratches on the front of that Childress Chevrolet, briefly tags the barrier. Not sure what Slyjob is up to, but fans of the pilot of the 8-car will notice this isn't his usual performance. Hopefully we see more from Slyjob in stage number 2. J-Man and Lindo battling for position. Here comes Lindo to the inside of the 38. 38 gets squirrely under braking, tags that wall. Lindo gets around him. Henny's up next. Here's Annihilator now trying to work on ENEA shotgun. Six-car going extremely wide off the racetrack. Not sure what he was thinking, but there's Annihilator. He goes off again, and he tags the barrier this time. 6-car having big problems, just like the 8-car of Slyjob. Those two going to be taking a visit to the junkyard here sooner rather than later. 6-car letting the 17 of ENEA knockout to his inside. 3 of Hound Dog by himself, no competition around him. And the Real MT now the final car on the lead lap with 3 to go in stage number 1. The 24 of ENEA, of Dr. Bush, excuse me, trying to overtake him, not for position to put him a lap down. Lindo now working on the 18 of KFB. KFB taking it wide, the 9 of Lindo taking it really close, and that's a course-cutting penalty for the 9. The 38 gets around, and there goes Sir Brunson as well. The 6 car making way for Henny, who's now chasing down the 21 of Old Tweeter. Sir Brunson recently overtaking the 9 car, now trying to get ahead of the 38. ENEA Shotgun has got space to run by himself, so no course-cutting penalties for him in these final 3 laps. Old Tweeter driving the red cap board. There's Henny just behind him in the number 12 Dex Imaging Mustang. The 17 of ENEA Knockout chasing down the 11 of Pot Pie and Dip, but for the time being, most of the drivers content where they are. The 11 of Pot Pie just having overtaken the 8 car of Mr. Slyjob, currently running in the 2nd position. Hound Dog up ahead in the number 3. Dr. Bush getting tires and fuel. The HendrickCars.com Chevrolet makes it in. Will he leave with that same lead? Tweeter comes down pit road. What about the rest of his rivals? Does Pot Pie come down? I believe he came down earlier, and he does indeed stay out. How about the 17 car of Knockout? Is Knockout coming down for tires? Staying out as well, so they're going to go the distance, the top 3, on these tires and fuel. Tweeter just came down for adjustments and resources, waiting for that 21 red cap Ford to get a move on now. And he does. ENEA Shotgun chasing down the 42 of the Real MT. Out of the final corner, the Real MT coming down for tires and fuel. Shotgun, did he miss the pit road entrance? He was going awfully fast there. Sir Brunson, he's got tires and fuel to go the distance now. And the 18 of KFB chasing down the 8 car of Mr. Slyjob, it looks like, and that is Slyjob getting squirrely into turn 6. The 18 car getting ever closer to the Childress Vineyards Chevrolet, just recently having another course-cutting penalty. That's been the MO for Slyjob in this opening stage. But drivers coming down to that white flag and then the checkered flag in stage number 1. We'll be able to regather ourselves and see who's going to lead in this 2nd stage. After we conclude stage 1, fans, we're going to take a quick 30-second break to stay ad-free for the next 10 minutes. The 42 of the Real MT trying to get closer. There's the 3 of Hound Dog. Looks like he's trying to get closer to the 21 of Old Tweeter, who managed to overtake him. And now the 18 of KFB coming up with a head full of steam. Hound Dog won't be able to put the block. There goes KFB. Annihilator now with a mirror full of Dr. Bush coming out of the final corner. Will he be overtaken before he gets to the line? Dr. Bush on the outside now. Annihilator will let him by. Dr. Bush getting the checkered flag in stage number 1. And the 24 HendrickCars.com Chevrolet wins the opening stage. Fans at home, we're going to take a 30-second break and we'll be back for the start of stage 2. Subscribers watching live, thank you so much for tuning in and for your continued patronage. We're ad-free for the next 10.5 minutes, but you'll be ad-free for the rest of the show because you're a subscriber to Rick James TV. Thank you so much. Stay tuned. Let's try and bother Dr. Bush driving that number 24. Dr. Bush, Rick James up top. You got me, buddy?
Hey, Rick.
Winner of stage number 1, Dr. Bush. How do you feel about stage 2? You got a good chance?
Yeah, I got to rock this shit tonight. I love this track. Just going to try to keep it out front as far as I can away from the field, just in case some fuel strategy happens, and we'll try to save some fuel here.
From what I've been told, it is your special birthday today. The guys at ENEA making a special graphic for you. Happy birthday, Dr. Bush. Is it, well, we're going back to green here. You got a chance at winning the race, Dr. Bush?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Rick. We got to rock it.
Best of luck, buddy.
Thank you.
Green flag is out in stage number 2. Dr. Bush starting with the 11 of Pot Pie and Dip on his outside. Big scramble into the first corner there. The 24 goes briefly off track. Here comes the 11. (11, 24, 18 out of the chicane. Here comes the 17 of Knockout, while the 18 working on that 24 car headed into 6. Pot Pie leads, the 18 getting into the 24, giving him a hey, how do you do? Dr. Bush, the stage 1 winner, getting roughed up by some of his competitors and friends out there. The 18 manages to get into 2nd place. Toyota, Chevrolet, ENEA Knockout driving the highest ranked Ford in 4th. Dr. Bush cleanly putting the move on KFB, but Pot Pie and Dip running away with this lead now in stage 2. ENEA Knockout sitting in the 3rd spot, chasing down the 18 car. The 17 of Knockout getting a little friendly with the 18 of KFB. Those two cars exchanging sheet metal. Toyota, Chevy, Ford. Now your top 3 as the 17 makes it back onto the podium places. Flying through that chicane, here comes the defending champion, Old Tweeter, trying to get one up. Chasing down Mr. Slide Job now for position. Tweeter now looking to the inside of car number 8. There goes the 18 of KFB, who's gone for a spill, and the 18 gets turned around. The M&M Minis Camry gets going back in the right direction, but now onto the very end of the line. Tweeter now working on Slide Job. Let's ride along with the 21. Slide Job currently being scored in the 11th position. Tweeter running 6th. He's trying to get up to the 88 of ENEA Shotgun, who just had a bit of a moment out of the final corner there. 15 laps remain in this 2nd stage. Big shout out to the 88 of ENEA Shotgun and the 8 car of Slide Job, who just piles into the 21 of Old Tweeter. Slide Job and Shotgun both streaming for lap count tonight. Shotgun currently running in the 5th spot right now. (11, 24, 17, your top 3. The 38 of J-Man running in 4th. There is the Planters Camaro in 5th. Sir Brunson sitting in 7th behind the 21 of Old Tweeter. The Craftsman Toyota has some spots to make up, as the points will tell you now. Sir Brunson sits 11th. He is 9 points away from the playoff spots. Every position matters for the 20. And there's the 21 of Old Tweeter. Was that a course-cutting penalty? No. Tweeter back up the inside, 3 wide briefly, Coming through the final corner, 21 and 20, nose to tail now, running 6th and 7th on the track. Here comes Sir Brunson with a drag race into 1. Sir Brunson wins the drag race, and he gets 6th away from Old Tweeter. But will Tweeter reciprocate down the straight? Tweeter getting a run into the corner. Will the 21 find room to make the pass for 6th? And he does it. The 18 of KFB now on the fringes of the top 10, chasing down Lindo in the number 9. Henny in the number 12 Dex Imaging Ford. Henny was battling with Sir Brunson earlier in stage number 1, now finding himself just outside of the top 10. Here's ENEA Lindo running 7th right now. Tweeter is the car in 6th that he wants to take down. And Lindo going a bit wide there. Sir Brunson behind him in 8th. KFB running 9th. Here's the 42 of the Real MT. And that's the 8 car of Slide Job that smashes the pit wall there. You can see he's still sideways, not going to get collected. Luckily, he's been ghosted. And the 8 car keeps it moving. The Childress Vineyard Chevrolet now running 12th. At the front, here comes Dr. Bush. He's slowly been reeling in the 11 of Pot Pie and Dip. This is currently the battle for first place. Keep your eye on that 24. He's looking to win 2 stages in a row. Getting a bit friendly with the back end of the 11 now. The 11 of Pot Pie pulling away. Dr. Bush, will he wait until the front straight? He's going to dive it in. He's going to dive it in, but he just can't seal the deal. Great defensive work by Pot Pie. Will he try the crossover? Yes, but he doesn't have the momentum. One more attempt for Dr. Bush now. Did the 11 just go around? The 11 just went around Pot Pie and Dip. Dangerous pit wall, says T. Lockhart, and that's exactly what happened. Vast amount of times now lost for Pot Pie and Dip, and the 11 FedEx Camry enters pit road in 4th. Dr. Bush now leading all by his lonesome at the front of this race. ENEA knockout coming down for tires and fuel, and I believe Tweeter is now being scored in 2nd. Could be J-Man. Let's find out. There is the 38 of J-Man ahead of Tweeter, but running awfully slow. The 21 getting closer now. And J-Man getting a course-cutting penalty. Here comes the 21 of Tweeter. J-Man keeps his spot, but Tweeter now hot on his heels. Slide Job with a lot of work to do from the 11th spot. The 88 is losing server connection. The 88 is losing, and there it is. ENEA Shotgun out of this race after having lost server connection. 9:59 is the time on the East Coast, and the bump now affecting the 88 of ENEA Shotgun. Unbelievable damage there for the 88. The 18 car now coming down for tires and fuel. The 20 of Sir Brunson doing the same. The 6 car avoiding the pit wall. The 42 is in. The 9 is in. Henny coming down for those tires. But what about the 24? Where is Dr. Bush? There he is at the front of the line getting those tires and fuel. And for those that might not know about the bump, roughly about 10 p.m. Eastern, drivers may suffer a shock to their internet connection that knocks them off the server, and it's happened to the 88 of Shotgun. Bringing in the points now. You can see Shotgun was only 7 points above the drop, 7 points into the safe zone. Now we have to wait until the points are completed to see if Shotgun will advance to the next round of racing. Eight laps about to be completed of the scheduled 17 in stage number 2. Stage breaks will come at lap... Whoa, what in the world just happened there? You just saw the 24 briefly come to a halt there. Dr. Bush just not sure what happened there. The 17 chasing him down. There's ENEA Knockout currently running in the second position. To bring up the race facts one more time, brought to you by DI9 Designs. The 2.4 mile road course will see 150 miles of racing today, here hosted at the racing capital of the world. With the settings turned up to high wear, drivers will only go about a maximum of 8 laps in each pit window. The second stage break coming at lap 37, and then the race ending at 62 laps. The 17 of ENEA Knockout taking it a bit too wide. There you see the 18 of KFB as he halted on the inside, and he is just not moving at all. Is this another loss of server connection? KFB just stood still on the inside of turn number 4. And I've seen some bizarre things before, but this just takes the cake. Penny chasing down the 8 of Mr. Slide Job, currently running 11th, not for position. ENEA Lindo working his way through this field. Now the real MT chasing down Lindo, 9 and 42, a couple of Camaros battling for position. There's Annihilator just ahead of the 24. 6 car sounding a bit off song. Let's catch up with that 24. The race leader, Dr. Bush. There's the 18 looking behind. That's just wild how one car can sit there. So certainly some connection issues for the 18 car. But the 24 of Dr. Bush leading this race with 8.5 laps remaining. 24, 17, 11. Your top 3. Here's the 11 of Pot Pie and Dip just ahead of the 38. J-Man currently running in the 4th position. Old Tweeter, who is running behind the 8 of Mr. Slide Job, but again, not for the, no, I'm sorry, that's 38 of J-Man. J-Man running 4th. Old Tweeter, the defending champion, in the 5th position. Old Tweeter safe for now as the points stand, but the 21 car now behind that 38. Let's ride around with Tweeter for a lap and see how he attacks Indianapolis. Sounds like the pistons are going to come out of that engine block. The 21-volt Tweeter not able to get any closer to the 38 of J-Man up ahead. ENEA Shotgun, again, another DNF today, and possibly more connection issues. ENEA Shotgun in the chat saying, not sure why the 18 is just sitting there. I know he didn't like his car, but now the M&M Minis Camry comes back to life. The 3 of ENEA Hound Dog behind him out of the final corner. Henny moving past the now defunct card number 4 of PTH the GOAT. Henny trying to catch up to the 42 Clover Chevrolet of the real MT. MT behind the 20 of Sir Brunson. Down what you might call the back straight at this racetrack. Now running through this field, ENEA Hound Dog behind the 18 of KFB, and now joined by a special guest driver of that now DNF'd 88 ENEA Shotgun. Shotgun, welcome to the booth, my friend. What happened? It looks like you just lost server connection.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me up here. I don't know what happened. I came down pit road there to make my stop, and I was coming out behind the 17 car and just lost connection. I don't know what happened. It's an unfortunate, set of circumstances, but it's gonna be interesting to see where we stand. But all in all, I mean, nothing really we can do about it. It's just gonna have to hope that other people lag out, I guess.
Bringing up the points table, you find yourself coming into this race, tied in points with Pot Pie and Dip sitting 6th right now, only 7 points above that red line that separates the drivers in the round of 8 from the drivers that will be going home without a championship this season. Now we have to wait on the rest of the drivers to see where those chips fall. So far, the 24 has been dominating this race. Dr. Bush coming down for tires and fuel. Would you say he's your pick to win?
Oh, for sure, dude. The dude is so fast here. I mean, I've practiced with him a couple times, and he was putting up astounding laps on presets. It's just crazy. So he's definitely my pick to win. But don't count out fuel mileage. Maybe KFB if he can get his car rolling.
We'll take a look at KFB. Right now, the 11 of Pot Pie and Dip sitting behind the 17 car of ENEA Knockout. These two have been trading blows for 2nd and 3rd, respectively. Now catching up to the 8 of Mr. Slyjob. Between the 17 and the 11, it looks like both of these guys are safely into the playoffs, into the round of 8, if things hold the way that they do. Right now, as stops are being cycled, the 17 car Knockout going to make up 5th, 4th, 3rd, and I think he's going to go back to 2nd here. But between the 17 and the 11, who do you have for 2nd place? Because it's an interesting battle with 5 to go.
Honestly, if the 17 can keep it clean, I think he's got a good car. The 11's been really fast all race, but I think the 17, if he can keep it clean and if he can get it rolling, I think he's the one that might be able to stick with the 24 and give him a run for his money if, he can get up there under green.
Pot Pie and Dip in the 11 car also chasing him down, but it's shown to be that the 11 is quicker. Where's one of the best passing spots? Because it seems like, as far as where these drivers go, turn 1 and here coming into what I believe is turn 7 are the best areas to get a spot.
Yeah, here in turn 7, I mean, it's a good passing zone. If you set up the run coming out of the first set of S's, you can really, set yourself up for a good pass getting into the second set of S's. And turn 1 is always a good spot to make a pass. Set yourself up for a good lap. But I think really those are the only 2 major passing zones. Obviously, us drivers would try to make anywhere a passing zone, but I think, all in all, those are the good spots, in my opinion.
Coming to the final 10 miles of this 2nd stage, 24, 17, 11, your top 3, Chevrolet, Ford, Toyota, with the number 38 FAS Ford of J-Man sitting in that 4th spot. There's the 17 of Knockout, really being careful on that braking. Now, how do you fancy Indianapolis, or at least the road course, Shotgun? Is it one of your favorite tracks, or do you try to avoid it?
I love it personally. I'm not that great at it, but I love it. I don't know if I really like the oval, but I'm a big fan of the roval portion. I think it's put on some good racing in real life and in the game. It just takes the right drivers to make it a good track, honestly.
The road course coming around since 2001, 2002, I believe. Formula One first taking advantage of it, bringing some exciting races up until about 2005, 2006, when they had a long hiatus on their appearance in the United States. Then they moved to the illustrious COTA as the 21 of old Tweeter decides to do some off-roading. MotoGP, IndyCar, and now NASCAR taking advantage of this gorgeous road course. Shotgun, have you yourself actually ever been to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway?
Personally, I haven't, but I'd love to go if I ever got the chance. I think it'd be a really fun facility to visit and go see a very historic track and something that means a lot to the world of motorsports.
It is a pilgrimage indeed. I remember only going when I was a child, but I can tell you that I still have those memories to this day. The 18 of KFB getting well in front of the 6. The 8 of Mr. Slidejob makes his way through. Chaos for the 18, the 8, and the 6 car. Where is the Wienermobile? There is Annihilator in the Oscar Mayer Ford going off track once again. And Shotgun, that has been a trend for many drivers, is just flying off the racetrack.
Yeah, it's tough. Like, I've probably put close to 100, 150 laps here, and you can get in a groove and get into these heavy braking zones one way for a fuel run, and then the next fuel run, you'll do it the same way, and you'll completely miss the corner. It's honestly mind-blowing to me how inconsistent and consistent this track is. Like, it never really you really never know what's going to happen going into a braking zone. You kind of just have to hope for the best.
The 38 of J-Man is one driver that I've noticed has not made too many mistakes, despite the fact that he doesn't have the most speed of the field. It goes to show that it is an oxymoron, but you'll go faster by going slower. That is to say, by being more cautious, he's made the least number of mistakes of anybody on the track, and he finds himself in 4th.
Yeah, he kept it clean, and he's ran a really good race. I raced around him a little bit, and he was, spot on every corner, on and off. I mean, he's got a really good piece, and I just hope to see him bring home a good finish and hopefully show these owners next season, what he's got. I believe in him. I think he's a good guy, and I want to see him in a good ride for next season.
Now, this is J-Man's first full-time Cup season in ENEA. He cut his teeth in ENEA Xfinity, did he not?
He did a couple of races, but he was moved up to the Cup Series pretty quickly, and he's excelled. He's been fast since day one at Gateway, and he's been a joy to race with for the most part ever since.
He just took a course-cutting penalty there, the 38 of J-Man, having to come to a complete stop. And Shotgun, as the leader, Dr. Bush is coming to collect the white flag here. He's got a 4-second lead over the 17. So it's pretty much in the bag unless the 24 makes a mistake. But we're watching the 38 in traffic, and there's a mistake right there. The curse of the commentator strikes, and he makes heavy contact with the 18 of KFB. You mentioned rhythm, you mentioned consistency, and now the 21 of old Tweeter is looking to take 4th away from J-Man. It really gets in your head, doesn't it, when you as a driver make a mistake?
It does. It gets you out of your rhythm. Once you make a mistake, it's so hard to get it back, and once you get it back, you kind of get back in that rhythm, kind of trying to get consistent, hit your braking zones, hit your, throttle points where you want to hit them. But all in all, I mean, consistency is key, and if you lose that consistency for only a corner, it'll do wonders to what your lap. I mean, you can lose, 1-2 spots even.
Through the infield again, J-Man able to hold off the assault from the 21 car. Let's go back up to the front, and there's Dr. Bush now leaving the infield. It's been a dominant performance from this 24 car. Dr. Bush coming out of the final 2 corners with a 5.5-second lead over the 17 of ENEA Knockout. The 11 of Pot Pie and Dip has DNF'd. Pot Pie and Dip has DNF'd. Dr. Bush takes the checkered flag in stage 2. ENEA Knockout will take second place. J-Man will finish in third. We'll take a quick 60-second break and come back to talk about stage 3 with no Pot Pie and Dip. Back on for stage number 3, the 11 of Pot Pie and Dip. Not able to finish this race. Lockhart says he's having transmission issues. 6 car has brake overheating issues and can't stop. So now we'll see the pileup into this first corner. The 8 car going all over the place. 17 making it through okay. Shotgun, they survive turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's a tough section of the track to get into, really. I mean, on the restarts, it's so sketchy, not getting into someone in front of you, but also making sure, you know, you're hitting your point to where you're not getting run over, getting into turn 1. And honestly, you almost have to take care of the guys around you more than yourself, personally.
Sir Brunson in that 20 car comes out of the chicane. He's got a big gap. KFB completely missing that restart and grinding up alongside the wall. Troubles continue for the 18 M&M Minis car. ENEA Lindo has some space. Cars are going off track, but he finds himself in 5th in contention. Hound Dog, the real MT, all next to each other. Annihilator still having to get out of the infield. Slide Job slams the wall again. Shotgun.
Yeah, he is having some problems, obviously. You almost have to wonder what happened. He was putting together some good laps, but you see him stop there, and I wonder what happened to him.
Still hasn't moved. Now he finally gets going once again. Problems continue, but at the front of this race, Dr. Bush continues to lead. Knockout right up his rear trumpet. This is the closest the 17 has been, and he's on the offensive. Shotgun.
Yeah, like I said, he's got a good car. I think he's one of the guys that can stick with him. I think, you know, if he gets in a rhythm, he can definitely roll it and potentially, you know, get up there and battle him. It's just, we'll have to just wait and see what he can do. Keep it clean, keep it consistent. Like I said, consistency is key, and we'll see what he's got here.
Tweeter sitting in 3rd. Henny is in the 4th position. ENEA Lindo in 5th. The real MT sitting in the 6th spot now. Knockout getting closer to that 24. But do you think he's thinking conservation? Now, obviously the 24 has been the quickest car all race long. What is the 17 going to do to even get close to beating him?
You can play it really one of two ways. You can try to get up there and fight him, or you can try to set yourself up for the end of the race. Personally, I'd get up there and try to stay with him until the pit cycle starts, but we'll have to see, as he's made a couple mistakes, and like I said, getting out of your rhythm, it's very, very difficult to get back into it.
24, 17, 21, 3 Fords in the top 5. Next time by, drivers will have 16 laps remaining in this race. Here comes Tweeter for 2nd.
I see Tweeter trying to attack turn 1, trying to get in there deep, trying to get up there beside the 17. You know, he slides in there. again, you got to think: is he saving, or is he trying to go up there and trying to put himself in position to get a good finish here? But 17, I think the 17's got enough to keep it in front of him. I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens here.
Old Tweeter in that 17, or I'm sorry, Old Tweeter in the 21 continues to chase down the 17 now. And as he gets closer, you've got to think this is burning up tires. There's still 16 laps to go. This time this time in the race, tires have got to come at a premium for these drivers. What can the 21 do to save tires?
Just not push it as hard, you know. Brake a little bit sooner. Try to get on the gas a little bit easier. Um, and all in all, just drive a little bit more conservatively, drive it a little bit easier, and that should, conserve some tires. I think he just got a course penalty there.
Possibly a course penalty. Let's take a look. And there is the 21 of Old Tweeter. He is well behind the pack now. Course penalty for car 21. Back up to the 17 of ENEA Knockout. It's almost impossible for him to see that 24 car. Now, is this a good thing for the 17 where he's got space to himself to be mistake-free? Or as a driver, how heavy does it weigh on your mind seeing your opponent just tear away from you?
It's hard to see that driver in front of you that you've got so close to. It's so hard to see him walk away like that. But you almost have to think this might be good for Knockout. He can maybe pull some pit strategy and get back up to him, maybe pit a lap earlier. Try something different. Give yourself a shot at the end of this race. That's really all you can do right here is a 17 car. You've got to give yourself a shot.
17 starting to lose that grip on the lead, back up to the front. Dr. Bush at the front by 7 seconds now. Coming across the pit road entrance, the 24 will forego pit road, but it's almost time for these drivers to come through. They're hitting that pit window, that magical number between 5 to 8 laps.
Yeah, it's getting close to pit time, and kind of to circle back to what I said, is a guy that's, a little bit farther back in the pack, like Knockout, say Tweeter, Henny, Brunson, those types of guys. Now I think now would be the time to set yourself up for the end of the race and pick your poison, really. Do you want to come early and maybe try to gain, a few seconds on that guy in front of you? Maybe that could be the all-important, spot. Or do you want to run it out as long as you can and hope for a caution? As a driver, I'd personally pit early and try to set myself up to get to that guy in front of me and pass him on pit road, but I guess we'll have to see as pit cycles start to unfold.
Drivers should be coming in this time by, if not next. Sir Brunson in the number 20 Craftsman Camry comes across the line. It's been an education for Sir Brunson this year, hasn't it?
Yeah, he's had a rough year, to say the least, but he's putting together a good run today, and I raced around him a little bit, and he's quick for running, not as good as he hoped. He's putting together a really good run today. He made a couple mistakes early, but if he can erase those, keep it clean, get back in that groove, consistency, like I said, circle back to it, get back in that groove, keep it consistent, I think he can potentially get up there and have a good finish, and maybe even move on to this next round.
Sir Brunson chasing down the 6 car, being driven by Annihilator. KFB has DNF'd. There it is. I don't know if we saw this in the last stage or not, but the 18 car DNFing as well. That makes 4 cars tonight. 11 remain on the racetrack. Talk about frustration, Shotgun. You're giving it your everything, and all of a sudden, now your hopes are just dashed.
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but it's tough to be a driver and know that you're giving your all and you're driving as hard as you can, and it's not enough because you lag out, and that's the tough part about racing. But it's kind of, you just kind of have to roll with it and kind of just hope that you've built enough points.
Henny in the number 12 car to bring up those points that you speak of. Henny sitting on that bubble. 29 points off the leader right now. ENEA Hound Dog is 5 points behind him. These are the drivers that are most directly affected by every switch in these points. Henny sits just ahead of Lindo, who's sitting in 12th as the leaders come down pit road. Here's ENEA Hound Dog as the points run out of these playoffs. The 38 of J-Man making a mistake, and you can see those coffee-colored streaks of dirt through the grass as drivers make their extracurricular activities through that corner. Leaders coming down pit road for tires and fuel. J-Man now making up spots. At the front, though, it's still Dr. Bush. Shotgun, the 24 is in, the 8 car is also in. 24 moves, the 8 car doesn't. Is it a DNF for Mr. Slyjob here?
Yeah, we'll have to see here as he continues to sit on pit road. It could be a speeding penalty. I know a few drivers got him early, but we'll have to see here in a few seconds if he's still sitting there as drivers pull out of their pit stalls. I do believe you're right. I do believe it is a DNF for the 8 car of Mr. Slyjob, but that's unfortunate, and that's a hit that he's got to take. But fortunately for him, he's not racing for anything right now, as he's not in the playoffs. So I guess on the bright side, that is good for him that he doesn't have to worry about.
Leader's out of fuel. I'm so sorry to cut you off. The leader's being scored as Henny, and he is out of gas, crawling. J-Man now goes to the lead in the 38 car. I wonder if the 38 is pitted. There goes the 24. The 6 car of Annihilator pushing the 12 into pit road. Talk about teamsmanship and teamwork there. Let's go to the 38 of J-Man. Trying to scroll through to him furiously. Have I missed? There's the 38 of J-Man, who is now coming down pit road at an alarming rate of speed. Slyjob DNFs, so now the 24 of Dr. Bush will make it across the line as the leader, but big gamble from the 12 of Henny, out of fuel in the final stage of this race.
Yeah, and to circle back to what I was saying, you've got to give yourself a shot. You've got to pick your poison. You've got to either pit early or you've got to stretch it as far as you can. And this is the unfortunate part about stretching it as far as you can, is these things can happen. These things, like running out and potentially blowing a tire, can happen. And unfortunately, it's happened to the 12 car that just happens to also be fighting for his life, his playoff life. So this can definitely hurt him, but I think the thing that helps him is some guys have unfortunately DNF'd, so I think he's got that to fall back on.
Coming to the final 11 laps of action, Dr. Bush trying to drive for the cycle, pick up another win this season and cement his playoff hopes into the round of 8. Looking at the schedule next week, the drivers will take on the 1.5 miles of Kentucky, the short track of Iowa, and then the championship grand final at Las Vegas on September the 2nd. The 6 of Annihilator, and hats off to Annihilator here, because his race is obviously done. The 12's race, no hope of winning, and Annihilator, not even coming down pit road, does the nice benevolent thing and pushes the 12 into pit road there. Kudos to the 6 car. That is just cool.
Yeah, I've been fortunate enough to run out of fuel and have that help from the 6 car, so that's definitely a good feeling to have someone pull up behind you and help you get back, because once you run out of fuel at a big track like this, you almost feel helpless. There's nothing you can do, and whenever you get that help from a guy that, you know, really isn't in contention, it's a really good feeling to be able to have someone like that come up behind you and give you that push to get to pit road.
J-Man in the 38 car, now driving behind that 42. J-Man goes way too hot into the corner, and the driver who was third at the end of stage number 2 now falling out of the top 5 with that extreme skid. Here comes Henny in the 12. Henny climbing another spot. If he can get past J-Man, he is getting closer to playoff safety in the round of 8.
Yeah, it's unfortunate the thing that happened to Henny, but he's gonna claw his way back. I think he's got a good piece, and we'll see what he can do. But I think he's gonna give the 38 a challenge. Is the 38 got out of his rhythm, and he's trying to get back into it. Versus the 12's in it. He's going high. He's got to make this time up that he lost coming to pit road and running out of fuel this last run as he runs off track there in the S's.
You just saw the 12 car of Henny go off track, and the 3 of ENEA Hound Dog coming up behind him. Will the 3 car be able to take the spot? Henny going in hot into the final 2 corners, but he makes it through unscathed. The 20 of Sir Brunson going off track there, now back on, trying to make his way further up through the field. The 21 of Old Tweeter hanging out a lot in the top 5. Tweeter looking good for that round of 8. Has he talked about defending his championship at all, Shotgun? Is that a focus for the 21 car at all?
I think it is. I think he's kind of, the 21 is taking it, race by race, trying to get the best out of his car every single race, and I think he's done a great job of that. And I think if he can continue to run consistently, well inside the top 5 and get these stage points, I think he can have a very good run at Vegas and potentially defend it. I think he's honestly a dark horse pick to defend. He is very good at Vegas. I mean, I've seen it firsthand.
Old Tweeter coming through that final descent back through the infield, going through the running order one more time. ENEA Lindo, the real MT behind him, they're battling for position. ENEA Hound Dog kind of out of it position-wise, while Annihilator loses mad amount of time, but again, not racing for points. Meanwhile, the 38 of J-Man with a lot of work to do, and the 24 of Dr. Bush just has to keep it on the straight and narrow, but he's not out of those woods. He's got lap traffic to deal with. And as a leader, Shotgun, does it become difficult to stay mistake-free knowing that all the pressure is on you?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't led a race in a while, but from the experience that I do have leading, it's stressful knowing that there's 14 to 20 guys behind you that want that spot as bad, if not more than you do. And as soon as you make a mistake, it's game on. Everyone's gonna attack you, and everyone's trying to get that spot from you and prove that they can lead the race and they can get up there and show what they have. And it's a task to lead, especially at a road course like this. This track is not an easy track by any means. So I think Dr. Bush, I think he can keep it clean, but we'll have to see. Is the pressure starting to build for him?
Dr. Bush currently running in the 2nd position. I'm not sure if he had a mistake or what, but the 17 of ENEA Knockout being scored as the leader. I don't know if this is pit strategy or what have you, or if the 24 has already come down for his stop, but the 17 car still out on the racetrack, and Knockout leading this race, trying to kill Dr. Bush's run for the cycle.
Yeah, I don't know if the 17s came down pit road yet, but if he hasn't, that's what I'm talking about, giving yourself a shot and running long, because there is a chance that he could potentially, if he runs this right, one stop this, at the end of this race as it's coming down. We'll have to see, but I'm impressed to see him out leading the race, whether it's the pit strategy or what have you. I mean, I think he's the only guy other than the 11 and potentially the 38 that's been able to lead laps besides the 24.
You talked about this earlier. You said you've got to make the most of your opportunities. You've got to find a way to beat him, and I think that's what the 17 is doing right now, possibly gambling, making a move. He's got to come in for fuel eventually, and he does this now. Do you think he would dare take fuel only?
That's a question mark, honestly. I personally wouldn't. I was burning, I can't speak for other drivers, but I was burning my left front like crazy. So it's a question that we'll have answered here in a few minutes, but I'd take four and attack it as hard as you can. Attack these corners, get in there as hard as you can. But again, keep it consistently clean and give yourself a shot. I think, like I said earlier, I think he's the guy that can keep up with the 24 if he can get up there and get the track position. But we'll have to see as he comes out of pit road here.
17 does indeed get 4 tires and fuel. The 24 of Dr. Bush, the 24 of Dr. Bush leading this race now by several seconds. The 17 car's down and away. Knockout enters pit road in the lead. He comes out now in 4th. So drivers still have that money stop to make. They've got that final crucial pit stop to get them to the distance. The race leader now, Dr. Bush, will have tires that are more fresh than ENEA Knockout, but it's all about the attack. He's on fresh tires, Shotgun, so surely the 17 has to go as hard as he's ever driven in these upcoming laps.
Yeah, he's got to go hard. He's got to get everything out of the car. He had a good in lap. Now it's about putting together a good out lap, trying to get as much as you can out of your car, trying to get up there. He's got to go hard, and he's got to go 100%. There is no fuel saving. That's out the window. He's got to get up there and give himself a shot to win this race.
Dr. Bush leading this one now. He does not come down pit road. It's 6 laps to go at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. He leads this race. ENEA Knockout, who came in as the leader, now 31 seconds adrift of the leader. There he is ahead of 5th place Henny. Old Tweeter has come down pit road. Tweeter running in the 2nd spot now, so he'll give up his 2nd position for tires and for fuel. There goes the 17. He will take 3rd and he will take 2nd place as he comes into the pits. So it's a 30-second gap now between 1st and 2nd place. Henny moves into 3rd. So it's Chevy, Ford at the front of this field. Dr. Bush now losing time. Every lap he stays out. The 24 knows this, Shotgun. Does he come down this time knowing this?
He's got to come either this lap or next lap. It's now or never. You lose about, I'd say, 40-ish, if not more, seconds on pit road. So it's now or never. He's got to come down. He's got to get his tires now and get out on track and continue to put these laps down. And not only put these laps down, keep it consistent, knowing that there's a chance that he could be caught.
Now into pit road, there is the leader, Dr. Bush. He comes down, he relinquishes that lead, and the 17 car on the offensive now. Looking at the 17, ENEA Knockout coming through those final 2 corners. Here comes Henny in the 12. Knockout, he will get the lead this time by, so it's going to be a game of cat and mouse in the final 4 laps of racing.
Yeah, cat and mouse indeed. The 17 is going to get all he can out of this final corner here, and we're going to see here if he overtakes the 24, and if he does, this is going to be a battle for the ages. The 24 has been good all day. The 17's been good, but not great, so we'll have to see how good the 17 really is.
Well, let's see. This is the test now. The 17 leading this race. The 24 now exiting pit road. So the gap between Dr. Bush and ENEA Shotgun, between 2nd in the 24 and Knockout leading this race, is 14 seconds, coming to 3 laps to go. Tweeter sits in 3rd. J-Man running in 4th, and the leader's gone off. Exactly what he could not do. ENEA Knockout with a 13-second lead goes off the racetrack. Dr. Bush now entering the corner on cold tires, makes it through clean, and he can now see the silhouette of the 17. 10 seconds and counting is now the gap. They're coming to the final 7.5 miles of racing.
Yeah, we talk about consistency. We circle back, And consistency is key, and being the leader and knowing the pressure of being the leader coming down, not only being the leader, but being the leader in a playoff race. Not only, I mean, this is a big race for Knockout. He is not in the playoffs. He wants to prove that he can still win. I know he can still win, but it's going to be a task. I think the 24's going to get him, but it's going to be not, if he can get him, but I don't know if he can pass him. That's the thing.
One thing to catch him, it's another thing to pass, as goes the adage. Here comes the 24. Just a little squirrely there. You saw the 17, a bit more uncontrolled under braking, and you can tell the 17 is giving it everything now. 8.5 seconds is the gap between Knockout in the lead, Dr. Bush in second. Let's go to Old Tweeter, who's running third. There is the third placed car, J-Man, running fourth, chasing down the 21 Red Cap Ford, and the Real MT running in the fifth position now.
Tweeter's had a quiet day, personally. I mean, I haven't heard a lot about him. He's quietly up there in contention if something were to happen, maybe a late caution, you know. I mean, the leaders get into it, run off track. You never know what can happen. Tweeter may be in the catbird seat if something were to happen drastically.
There's your fourth place driver right there, J-Man in the 38 Fire Alarm Systems Ford. The second place car, Dr. Bush, 7.5 seconds off the back of ENEA Knockout. Coming to the final 2 laps. 5 more miles of racing, and there's the 24 now coming into frame. I'm sorry, 3 laps to go. So it's now 7.5 miles of racing. 24 just comes into frame, and the math says, Shotgun, the 24 will catch him before this one's up, and the 3 of Hound Dog almost ruining the 24's race.
Yeah, like I said, it's one thing to pass him, but you know, you got to get to him first, and I think the 17 can keep it in the lead if he keeps it clean. We've seen him make mistakes the last couple laps, but he needs to lock it back, and he needs to get back into that consistent rhythm. That way he can keep it out front. He knows what he's racing for. He knows that he's racing for a win. He knows he's trying to beat the fastest guy out here. So he's got to keep it.
Through the infield section, the 24 car of Dr. Bush chasing down the 17. By the way, he's hopping the curbs. You can see he is giving it his all. Now, the 17 of Knockout coming to 2 laps to go, and the gap shrinking inside 6.5 seconds. Looking behind the 17, he can see the blue hood of the HendrickCars.com Chevrolet coming into focus. 5 miles remaining, and the 24 car already has a couple of wins this year. In Season 2, Shotgun, Knockout went winless. Second so many times, but not a single win, and this year is the same. Knockout looking for his first ENEA win in 2 years.
Yeah, it's going to be a tight last couple of laps, but he's got a guy to worry about, and that's the 24. He's closing the gap now. Get in that rhythm. Him, both in the 24 and the 17, they're both in rhythm now. It's a matter of trying to keep it clean as he runs off track. But the 24 is getting there. He's closing faster than I thought he would personally.
17 has to check up hard. He almost goes off track again. The gap now 3.5 seconds. Dr. Bush will have 1, maybe 2 really good chances at getting the 17. Dr. Bush going for his 3rd win this season. The 17 going for his first win in 2 years. White flag will be in the air this time by, and then we will put a close on the round of 12. 17, 24, top 2. Old Tweeter still sits in 3rd. J-Man is in 4th, and the Real MT runs in 5th. 1 lap remains at Indy.
Pressure continuing to build for Knockout as the 24's continuing to close. He's going to have one more chance at him, and he's there. If Knockout makes one mistake, Dr. Bush is there, and he's ready to pounce. He's ready to get this win and lock himself into this next round.
Riding along with the 24 going through the infield. The 17 runs it wide and completely misses the apex. Knockout trying to throw this race away. Dr. Bush trying to receive it on a silver platter. Cuts the chicane very tight, but no penalty. Down the infield back straight. The 24 really has to leg it now. He almost has to wait for the 17 to make a mistake.
That's all you can hope for right now from the 24. I mean, you've got to just hope that he can make a mistake. You know you have a good car if you're Dr. Bush. It's just a matter of driving it and continuing to attack these corners, maybe make something happen coming to the final 2 corners.
17-24 out of the infield. 17 grinds up along the wall. Dr. Bush sends it in deep. He's going to have one more shot if he can get to the inside of the 17. Dr. Bush tries to cut the course, and that's it right there. All he's got to do is bring it home. It'll be his first win in over 2 years in ENEA, savoring the moment along the wall, and ENEA Knockout gets his win at Indianapolis.
That's an unbelievable finish. I thought the 24 was going to get him, but like I said, passing him is one thing and catching him is another thing. But great job by Knockout. I said that I think he was the one that could have got up there and battled him, and he proved me, and he proved to me that he can win.
ENEA Knockout with the win. Dr. Bush second, Tweeter, J-Man, and the Real MT third, fourth, and fifth. Sir Brunson, Lindo, Henny sixth, seventh, and eighth. ENEA Hound Dog and Annihilator rounding out the top 10. Fans at home are going to have podium interviews in just a moment, and we're going to want to talk to this driver right here. The number 17, Roush Stage 3 Ford, getting his first win in over 20, well, not over 2 years, but in over two seasons of racing. ENEA Knockout. Don't go anywhere. Podium interviews in just a few moments. On the podium now for top 3 interviews, the number 21 of Old Tweeter, the defending champion, finishes third. You got a bronze medal, champ, and it looks likely that you're through to the next round.
Yeah, Rick, had a really good car, just was cruising and just just taking off some laps. Was going to try to go there with the fuel strategy right there at the end, and I knew I would possibly have a little bit of an advantage having a shifter and everything. It was a good race, Dr. Bush, good domination, and had a good car. Unfortunately, couldn't get up there a little bit higher, and then just want to congratulate Knockout. That was a I don't know how he made it, but good on him. That's awesome. Good job to everyone, and I look forward to the next 2 races in the next round.
Congratulations on that third place finish, champ. We'll see you next week at Kentucky. Shotgun, you've got tonight's silver medalist.
Here with Dr. Bush finishing P2. Bush, you had it. You had the car all race long, but just wasn't enough there at the end. How did he pass you, and how were you not able to get to him? I mean, you had the car. That's crazy.
Yeah, hey, Shotty. Probably the most heartbreaking interview I've ever had to do. Obviously, you guys and every other person watching the stream tonight knew that we had definitely had the car to beat. We were in a whole different zip code, I think, than the rest of the field. Did exactly what I needed to do that whole race. Didn't make one mistake. Didn't get one course cutting penalty until the very, very last turn there, which is what made me get so far behind Knockout on that straightaway where he barely beat me. But, that right before the last pit stop, I spent about 3 laps fuel saving, which is how he caught me. And ultimately passed me. Ran him down there at the end. He was probably conserving some fuel as he should have been, but again, downshifted into first into that hairpin turn, which cost me. So, I thought this was going to be a good birthday present, good interview, but definitely not so. But otherwise, congrats to Knockout. I'm happy for him to win. Probably not the win he wants to get in that way, but, again, congrats to him.
Well, good on you. Good run. Happy birthday, more importantly. And we'll see you in round number 3.
Thanks, Shotgun. Thanks, Rick.
Before we get to our DI9 Designs winning interview, a big shout out to DI9 Designs for bringing yet another race of ENEA. DI9 Designs is a Chase Elliott custom graphic design page on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at DI9 Designs. They post graphics on all platforms multiple times a week on top of taking requests on all types of logos, Chase Elliott wallpapers, iRacing schemes, and more. Follow and DM them for more details. They are not affiliated with Hendrick Motorsports or Chase Elliott. Be sure to use discount code DI9Designs on CircleBSales.com for free shipping on your diecast and merch orders over $20. And now the winner. Driver of the number 17 RoushStage3.com Ford with his first win in over 2 seasons of racing, ENEA Knockout. You have got the win.
Man, Rick, I am pumped up. Let me tell you, I feel really bad for Dr. Bush as it's his birthday. But feels more like my birthday today after pulling that off. It was a lot closer than people realize. I was actually out of gas coming to the stripe, and if he didn't get that course penalty, he would have got me. I knew coming down there on that last run, there was 7 to go, and I was going to be close, and he had saved so much to make it that last run that I was just going to go for it. I got nothing to lose. I'm just going to go for the win. So we intentionally were saving. And then about the last half, I knew it was the second back behind me, so I had to go all or nothing, and it just worked out for us, man. I'm so pumped up.
We can hear it in your voice. We can hear your excitement. Your first ENEA win in over 2 seasons of competition. Not only that, you have stamped your ticket into the next round automatically for what it's worth, with only 3 races left in this championship. Kentucky, Iowa, and Vegas. Can you carry this momentum all the way to a title?
Well, unfortunately, I was out. I got knocked out of the first round because I was out of town and I wasn't
Never mind.
race. But, man, I was pumped up though. But I mean, if anything else, I'm going to prove that I should be the champion, and it's so hard to win in this series. Like everybody in there is so freaking good, and the fact that it's taken this long to get a win is just shows just how hard it is to get a win. And we got so many different winners, and we got some of the best that run this series. It's a testament just to how good ENEA is, and to be able to pull a victory off is it's definitely an accomplishment.
What an accomplishment it is. Now it's time to go celebrate. Congratulations on your gold medal. We'll see you in a week.
Thanks, buddy.
Fans, that's going to do it for us tonight. My biggest esteemed thanks to you fans for tuning in. Also, big thank you to ENEA Shotgun, Old Tweeter, Dr. Bush, and of course, tonight's winner, ENEA Knockout, especially you, Shotgun. Thank you so much for coming through tonight, buddy. I had a blast with you.
Yeah, I had fun, and I appreciate you letting me come up here. It's really cool to see what it's like from the booth. Honestly, it's been a blast.
It's fun to watch for sure. Now, next week, next Wednesday night, 9:15 p.m., 3 races remain in the season, and we start the first of 2 round of 8 races. Kentucky, Iowa, and then the grand final in Vegas on Wednesday, September 1st. But until next week, fans at home, stay safe, take care of each other, and we will see you all